and A is in architecture and I is in interior design.
Nice.
So I have architecture in Gopaal and interior in Zaverii.
Modular.
Oh shit!
See, it is difficult.
Understand only, man. Oh shit! क्या ये क्या है? क्या कर क्या रहा है?
खाली जगह पे एक सोफा रखा हुआ है.
कर क्या रहा है ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा मुझे.
Windows. सर ऐसा तो मैं पूरा बुक बोल देगा.
चलेगा और 2 words बोलो.
If you want to give a piece of advice to your fellow designers or the architects, what advice would you give?
Create more, curate less.
Hi and welcome to another episode of KYAD, which is Know Your Architect / Designer. I think we've been doing this for a while, and we try to find a lot of talents which are around, and it becomes difficult for us to filter things. And this time, whom we have on the couch is someone that is all about. I think the correct word to be used is maximalism, luxury. His designs are something which is out loud, and he's a brand of himself. Before going there, I think on the couch we have Varun sir. Varun sir, if you don't know Varun sir yet, I think you are either living below a rock or you're not visible in the KYAD universe. You need to go out and check the previous episodes. But I'll just ask Varun sir one simple question: how are you, sir?
Good. I think after a long time.
Yeah, I think this is how many episodes you have done in this season?
This season I've done. This is my 4th, I think so.
Yeah.
4th.
But it's been a long gap that we're doing the episodes now. Of course, we've not aired it yet, but people will not feel the whole drift. But this is how it is. Now on the couch we have someone who's I find his work to be very amusing. I think the way the things he creates is something which is very different to the things that we've seen in the past. I think the entire season, if you see the season 1 versus the season 2, one person that I can relate with is Devikant sir, where but he's not that maximalism as he is. So I have on the couch the principal designer of Gopaal Zaverii Architects, Mr. Gopaal Zaverii. How are you, sir?
Very good.
So quick question. I will ask you, and then we can roll the whole conversation ahead. You have extra I in your name, or it's Zaverii?
I have extra A in Gopal and
Okay.
extra I in Zaverii.
And why is that? And
So certainly,
numerology?
certainly yes,
Okay.
absolutely. But I also say that an A is in architecture and I is in interior design.
Nice.
So I have architecture in Gopal and interior in Zaverii. So
Okay.
that goes well.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
That goes well.
I think the first question that I had in mind is, how did you reach the followers that you've reached today? And it's all organic. I know it's nothing
Yes.
to do with any media agency who's doing
No,
it. It's
no
all
one.
you.
Yes.
How have you crossed that 200K mark on Instagram, sir?
So certainly before COVID, okay, I realized that in 2019 somehow social media is going to be the next thing, okay, and you need to showcase yourself. Somehow I've always been a very introvert. At the same time, I don't really speak about my own designs. So I let others speak about what my designs are actually. So I said that one of the easiest ways that just publish them as much as possible. And during the COVID, because of the overall use of social media was increasing considerably. That is the time when I got a good boost in that. I still remember, I have a screenshot of that.
Yeah.
In January 2000, 4th or 5th of January, I had 2,000 followers. And within a year, it was almost like 80 to 90,000. Then it started increasing, and now it's almost 2.5 lakhs.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I have few of the posts which have reached almost 2.5 million unique users. Okay, and the total reach of almost all my posts are today like 50 million plus or more than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it help?
Yes,
Okay.
it helps. It helps in a lot of ways, especially when people start recognizing you, your designs, and I always wanted to get pronounced by my designs. So
Nice.
even if I'm not, you will not see my picture on
Yeah.
Instagram. I don't feel like going on a reel so easily. But I would certainly like to be known by my designs, because eventually that's what I am. Okay,
Okay.
that's what I am.
Okay. How this all started?
So it started.
I want to go back to your school and understand from there.
There's something which is very unique and very, 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 very few people knows about it.
Okay.
And there's a confusion in the very early stage of my school career.
Okay.
So by birth, my name is Gopal,
Okay.
and at home, everybody used to call me Gopi.
Okay.
So in the school, nobody. I mean, when the teacher calls Gopal, I was like, "Who is Gopal? I'm Gopi." I mean, I was always absent. Okay, so then in the school register, my name was registered as Gopi. Entire school till 12, till 10th, and even 11th, 12th, even architecture college, I'm Gopi.
Okay.
Yeah. After that, I was like, okay, bhai, you are a professional now. You can sound cute, but you cannot be cute. Okay. So then I was like Gopi to Gopal.
Okay.
Now, after a few years of when you grow up, okay, when you look back, you actually see that the character which is played by many film stars in any movies where the name is Gopi, they are very, I'll not say uh, cute, but they're very innocent, introvert people.
Yeah.
And I was actually that. Actually, I was that.
Okay.
I can spend hours and hours
Okay.
talking to no one.
Okay.
All summer vacations, I'm at home,
Okay.
playing with no one. Which today, when I look back, I feel it is not good, because somewhere you have to explore
Yeah.
and stretch yourself and meet new people and doing everything. But every time I did that, I was trying to, exercise my brains on small things, how the small things work, why things are like this.
Okay.
And I was trying to reason myself and trying to find answers of them. Now, that habit, which was there imbibed almost 2, 3 decades before, is helping me today to again look into the smallest aspect of every small things to a big thing.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe right now while talking, I'm seeing the table, why the mug is like this, why the handle of the mug is supposed to be like this, why you hold the mug like this. So, what goes into that product design, or what goes into the aesthetics of that, why people become so comfortable, why this couch is so comfortable. I try to go into the reasoning of that.
Okay.
And yeah, that's how once you start getting the answers, you can recreate that.
Okay.
So the whole idea is that the more questions you ask yourself, the more answers you get, the more you can recreate them.
Agreed. I want to understand why you chose architecture as a
Architecture, I was always aware about what architecture interiors
how?
was.
I mean, was it family?
Yes. My
Okay.
uncle, he was an architect. He was from Academy of Architecture, graduated in 1962 or 65, and I used to go at sites with him.
Okay.
Okay, in my fifth standard, sixth standard, many places. So he was uh, more into interiors and less about architecture. There are many times when I used to go on the site. Initially, the entire site is bare shell, or the work is still happening. I can see the air conditioning, partitions, everything still going on. And suddenly, what happens is after 3 months, 4 months, when I used to go there, like, oh, boss, what happened? Where is everything? I mean, how come suddenly this entire thing is so finished? So that transition or that change of raw to the finish was really putting me into the subject. Okay, and also for me to visualize the layouts, understanding the layouts. The most common reason why that time when you can be an architect or an interior designer, or you can be in such lines, is because you are good at drawings, good at coloring. So and I may not be very good at colors and drawings and everything, sketching, but then I was very patient in doing it. So I
Okay.
could improve in the course.
Okay.
Initially I was not so good, but I improved a lot in the college days.
Okay.
Okay. So that uncle is like an idol for us.
Okay.
He was an architect. Maybe I wanted to always be like him. So that's the reason I started, you know, my inclination started
So
towards
you did your
architecture and interior
10th
design.
from your school, and then you pursued the 12th, and then
Yes.
after that you took up
Yes,
architecture.
and
that
then I
time-
realized after first year of architecture, I realized that I could not do anything else because everything is very difficult for me, and architecture is certainly most easiest thing what I can do.
Okay, and this is Raheja, LS Raheja.
LS Raheja, yes.
And how did you end up? I mean, was it easy to get into college at that point in time? Was it difficult? Was there a cutoff?
Yeah, certainly there was a cutoff. In fact, in 1999, I still remember Academy of Architecture was still government diploma architecture course, and that time it changed to private something and it got degree. So there was a big question that okay, is government diploma equivalent to degree? Both are 5 years course. There's some difference in the syllabus, okay, but how come a diploma is also 5 years and degree is also 5 years?
Correct,
That
yeah.
was always a question. But if we go behind that, if we go few decades back, only I think so, I may be wrong, but then JJ School of Architecture was the only school of architecture which was having a degree course. Rest Academy, which was Rachna Sansad, and LS Raheja, they were still having the diploma course.
Okay.
So all the architects before 1999, even from academy, are all
Diploma holders.
diploma, which is equivalent to degree, which is they mention in their certificate.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, getting into it was easier for me because again, design inclination was, I mean, drawing inclination was there. There was an entrance exam which I cracked and got into it. Not a very difficult ones. I mean, not for me. Yes, but after coming into the 5 years course, I realized that architecture is not about just drawing.
Yeah.
It is more about experience of individuals and humanity in total.
Okay.
How the space or how the environment is being experienced by the people over there.
Yeah.
That is how it all started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, what was your class like? I mean, just to understand, were there any architects which are known today in your class that you remember of?
So we have a WhatsApp group, so everybody is in
Okay,
contact.
okay.
And today also, I mean, today only we are going to meet.
Okay.
A few of them. So batch was nice.
Okay.
As usual, I was again an introvert. So
But who all were there? I mean, are there any known names which are there in your class today?
they are, but then I don't know they are in that media as such. They
No,
are not in that too much of a media.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
But they
much of
still,
in-
I mean, you had couple of them with you,
Yes, yes.
which
They
are now
they are
currently.
in very they have their own practices, very
Okay.
good practices. They are also so one of my friend, he's a HOD at TPA.
Okay.
Okay, he's a HOD just next to us. He's a HOD. So
Okay.
very nice.
Nice.
And there are others who are having very good practices. I was the one who always used to be more inclined towards design. So for me, everything boils down to design. Everything.
Okay.
It has to be good design. At the end, it has to be a good design.
Okay. Let's talk about design then. I think. How did you start practicing? Directly अपने college pass out can you started working or?
No, I worked with few companies.
But you practiced for couple of years.
I had a job
Okay.
for almost 8 years.
Okay.
8 years.
Okay.
8 years I was working with some other companies.
And how do you crack that, sir? This is something that we discuss with everyone that is there. How do you crack that? How do you get into that first full-fledged client of your own versus?
Before that, I'll try to say something about
Please,
the
please.
big gap,
Yeah.
which is even today
Yeah.
in the education. Maybe that is for everyone.
We've spoken about this a lot.
Medical-
Let's hear it from you now. Yes.
Medical, engineering, everywhere. I think there's a gap in the syllabus and what is going in the real world. I'll say that let that gap be as it is. Don't try to bridge that gap too soon.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like getting your kids mature too soon. Okay, let your innocence as a designer or as a professional
Okay.
be retained for few years. Try to have that innocence in you. Okay, because the world is going to make you smart. Innovation comes with innocence, intelligence, and then intuition. Okay, there are 3 I's which comes eventually. So your innocence always has to be there as a designer. Now what happens is when you come out of the college, there's a lot of gaps. As I told you, there's a lot of gaps which happens in the real world. Okay, and one of the most hurrah moment for me was like in first year we learn something which is like door frames and brakes and all these things. There's a very small element in a door frame which is called hold fast, which
Yeah.
holds the frame in
Yeah.
the wall.
One goes inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have seen hold fast on the side. Like, oh my god. In 10 years of my education, 12 years, I've never seen something in books which is there in the real world.
Yeah.
Here I am seeing a hold fast in the book which is there in the real world.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow, something is going to start.
Yeah.
Okay. But it didn't go well because there are a lot of changes in the technology, there's a lot of changes in the new way of things, constructions and everything are changing a lot. But yes, all those things really helps you in your hindsight to come with a better conclusions, better innovative approach to solve the problems.
Nice. Just to add something here, so I just want to understand one more thing. Education system. When we are speaking about this, I think I was recently looking at something which is explained by Sanjay Puri sir also, where he's speaking about start your internship or start working somewhere while you get into studying architecture.
Yes,
For a simple reason is because there is something which is theoretical and there is something which is practical. The
Correct.
college may give you everything which is theoretical, they will not give you anything which is practical. With any other profession also, that's how people start. They have something which is theoretical and then they have practice which is inside the hospitals or
Yes, yes.
colleges or something. But when it comes to architecture, they cannot just send you to build things. Is it required to have, because now currently people are going very fast. I think the whole shift has happened from versus when you were there and today. I think the syllabus is almost the same. There's nothing major which has changed there, right? So syllabus is still there. But is it required to have a practice when you're studying, maybe after the first year or something?
I think it all goes with person with whom the subject has gone into the DNA of that person. See, try to understand.
Okay.
Out of like 50-60 people, the ratio of people who actually start their own practice is less than 3%.
Okay.
Okay.
And if they start, the one whom you know is again 3% of that. It all depends how much you are passionate for the subject. I also started going to my uncle's friend's office, then his sites in third year. I used to check RCC slabs, I used to check foundation. Uh, yeah, it all started. I tried to, started understanding what things are. Okay,
Yeah.
certainly not going to the nitty gritties of that. And trying to absorb as much things what they are. Okay, I think in the education, it will never be like that. They are not teaching anything wrong,
Yeah.
but they are also limited to what they can teach.
So I mean, is it something which is required in the current generation?
We all know what is the present percentage in the classroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
50% attendance is required. वो भी करने के लिए kids are not happy.
Yeah.
Okay, the students are not happy.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I feel there's nothing which is interesting to be there. That's one of the reasons. I
Exactly.
think.
So to make it interesting, okay, if you say that okay, now kids needs to start go to the site. So let's say every year, I'm just giving you a very hypothetical example. Every year they have let's say 9 to 10 months of practical college or whatever it is. Half year they have to go to on site. Half year they have to be in the college.
Makes sense.
Trust me, the moment they go out, they'll never come back to college. The innocence is gone.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The more you understand the outside world,
Yeah.
the more you will try to disconnect with the theory. But here, once again, what can be a good solution is that whomsoever is going, at least you cannot discourage them. You just need to encourage them to do the things. Now, here, the biggest gap, what I can see in the education is that they are not creating a vision for kids. These are the possibilities you can go with.
Inspirations.
These are the inspirations. So everybody cannot be a design oriented architect.
Agreed.
There are, and I have concluded few things in a very nice way, that there are architects who are very good at management. There are architects who are very good at design documentation. There are architects who are very good at concepts. There are architects who are very good at negotiations. Who goes into the licensing? Okay, design and concepts, you will see them come up in the event, so you will see the designs, you will see basically in their work.
Correct.
Administration and management architects, all the big firms, they are 95% they are management firms. Design is a very small part of their firm. Deriving or creating a concept is a matter of few hours or few minutes. Okay, after that it is all a design documentation and design management. There are two kind of management: design management as a whole office or a system management. So design management is also not as easy, but there are different kind of architects. So now where you fall in that category,
Agreed.
if you are made aware
Agreed. Interesting.
in the second or third year, then you are okay, now I can connect with this particular firm, so let me start following that firm since third year. Let me go to that firm, let me just sit over there, do any work free of cost, I mean free of nothing, I don't want a money, I'll go and sit in that firm, but let me go to these 5 firms, let me connect with them.
Okay.
I cannot connect myself with a firm who is having more than 50 or 100 staff. I cannot handle more people. So I need a firm which is having very niche design language, very, very niche working style, and very, very core people working on the projects.
Okay.
And but there are few who will say, "Nee, unless there are no 100 people, I cannot see myself. I cannot connect myself. Okay. So then you need to connect with them. So in the initial days when you go for a job, if you are a person who wants to be in that niche core group kind of a firm, and if you go to a very corporate kind of a firm, you will disconnect yourself and you may not like it. So this is the problem which needs to be solved.
I'm in sync with you, but what I'm saying here is that now I think you also have your firm, right?
Yeah.
Do you expect the innocent people coming to your office, or you want someone who's little bit aware about what is happening? Now also, I think after a point you will also lose your patience, right? That's there.
So what happened in last 20 years of my own practice?
Yeah.
I was patient, but the world made me impatient.
Okay.
Because the world doesn't stop.
Yeah.
The world doesn't say that okay, design 2 दिन के बाद ये चलेगा. The world doesn't work like that.
Everything they want is yesterday.
Everything they want is yesterday.
Yesterday.
First. Second, if not the client, so there are different entities in the complete project.
Yeah.
Everyone will need something or the other every time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're always on toes. Now that particular aspect is never taught in the college. It is in the form of the project.
Okay.
You are supposed to, there are deadlines, you are supposed to give by then, but there's a lot of complacency in that.
Yeah.
Now that complacency only comes in 2 ways. Either you are too strict with yourself, or the system makes you aware of the consequences that if you don't do, this will happen.
Correct.
Okay, which is even there,
Okay.
but still there is complacency.
Okay.
Now that complacency is primarily because it is a design problem.
Okay.
See, the problem which is solved by an architect is not a 1 plus 1. It is a design problem.
Correct.
And unfortunately, in a design problem, there cannot be 1 plus 1 equals to 2.
Yeah.
There is no right or wrong. So even if you are doing, you are not aware whether this is right or this is wrong. So how will you come to a conclusion?
Yeah.
So there is no habit or there is no way in which they are taught कि इसको conclude करना है. Now when it comes that innocent fellow who comes to the office, okay, it is the, I'll not say mistake, it is a
Drawback.
and it is a difference of opinion where I am saying that okay, you better be smart enough and intelligent enough to conclude what you are doing rather than sitting on the same piece of project or small. If I am giving you a compound wall design, you cannot do compound wall design for an entire week. Correct. You have to come to a conclusion. But this guy is doing compound wall design for 3 months in the college.
Yeah.
He will never realize, oh, 3 months का मुझे 1 हफ्ते में करना है. 1 हफ्ते में नहीं, तुमको 1 घंटे में करना है. How will you do it? He is not aware. On that gap, he has to bridge in the course of his own professional approach, where he has to understand that okay, why there is something which was not in the college, which was a time. I need to understand the importance of time.
Agreed.
Okay, and we as those who are, who are having their own practices and everything, I think we need to capitalize on their innocence and their other aspects rather than going into these things. Nobody is, again, because it is a design problems, okay?
Correct.
Nobody is trying to solve something which is more critical over here.
Complex.
It's a
Yeah.
design
Yeah.
problem
Yeah.
which we are trying to solve, okay? Try to extract the best from them as a design solutions.
Okay.
I think they will also understand. I think it takes time. Unfortunately, it takes time as
Yeah.
an architect to realize the importance of time over the course, and
Agreed.
only the clients and the right projects teaches you that. Only the client and the right projects teaches you.
The reason I'm asking this question, I think that's where I'm navigating you. I think when we were discussing this off camera when we met, you're saying कि एक गलत बीम बनाने से क्या होता है, एक कॉलम गलत आ गया तो क्या होता है? How do you explain that to the people? How you navigate through that? I think that's what I want to understand, because these are people who are innocent people coming out of college and joining you, and they're working on certain things. And do you have that patience to explain them?
Yeah, so again, it depends how much you are delegating to them.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give a very good example. You go to all the big hotels, whether it is, I need not take any brand names, but then you go to the biggest 5-star hotels in India.
Cool.
The first 3 people whom you meet once you enter the lobby, out of 3, 2 are interns.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe at the reception desk, maybe somebody who is greeting you, or maybe somebody who is taking you from the reception towards your room or towards the lift lobby. Okay,
Correct.
out of all these 3, somebody of 2 or at least 1, they are 100% interns.
Correct.
Now imagine such a big brand who can afford the best people with the best salaries. Okay, even if they are having interns who are facing the
Direct client.
direct clients,
Yeah.
even they can afford, I don't know how they can afford the risk of putting an intern in front. So I always wonder, why, how they can make such mistakes, and I still don't know, because I'm not an HR guy, so I don't know why they make such mistakes, whether it is a mistake also or not. I cannot even say that. But why it happens? But that is the only way. You cannot ask them to do something else. They have to do something. They have to start somewhere.
Agreed.
Okay, and somebody has to take a risk. You take a risk. Now what happens? There are chances where the mistake happens. When you say this beam column ka error and all these things. Now that is where I'll say how much in that delegation, when you do, how much information is shared, and how stepwise, how much that entire ask और entire intention जो पूछा गया है उसको आप कितना easily divide कर रहे हो. भाई साइट पे जाना है, ओके, साइट पे जाना है, स्लैब चेक करके आना है. So I did in my first job, in the first month, I went to a site and checked the RCC columns, beams and slabs.
Okay.
Okay, I was supposed to check that. My sir told me that, okay, go and check. I went there and I was like, what is supposed to be checked? And fortunately that time the mobile phones were there, it's all started, and I happened to talk to sir and I said, sir, what exactly? They're like, yeah, I know, I think you have learned in the college, right? You are supposed to, how to check the columns. So I checked the columns, the sizes are okay. No, not the size. Is the column 90 degree?
अच्छा,
Is the column 90 degree? Oh, is it my job? Yeah, absolutely. So now how to check? Now this is very, very critical, and this is the most basic things. Fortunately, I was doing in the first month of my job profile.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I would have been in a very high corporate firm, I would have never done that.
Agreed.
Okay. So very first month, I am checking the columns. I am checking whether they are 90 degree vertical. Okay. Plumb, absolutely. And not only that, I am checking 4 corners of that building. It was not a very large size. So maybe like around 50 feet by 60 feet, kind of a rectangle. Now, whether that 4 columns can also go twist. It can go like this. Okay. How much they are cross? How will I check that?
Okay.
Oh my God. I was like, so now here goes the basics. Pythagorean, some formulas, you recollect, and now you say, okay, this is how, if I measure this and this, that means it is going 90 degree. If I make a diagonal line, it has to cross at one point, and that is how it is going to happen. Okay. Fortunately, the contractor was also very helpful. He was also like, okay, now let's me check. And I was not the only one. Even the structural engineer was there with me. After that, checking the slabs. Okay, what to check in the slab? I don't know. The steel bar is there. So first month itself, I am reading the RCC drawings.
Okay.
Trust me, no, this is absolutely anti-design work.
Yeah.
Absolutely anti-design work. I mean, there's no design, there's no aesthetics, nothing in that. But still, if you do it, at least you start understanding. It was the very first initial stages. So I still remember it. It's almost exactly 20 years back. In fact, 2004, exactly 20 years back. June, July was there.
Okay.
In Nashik. Okay, it was raining.
Okay.
What to check in the slab? How many bars are there? Where is the bend? How much it is overlapping? How much after the overlap he has cut?
Yeah.
Whether he is cutting corners, he is trying to save money, he is making, whether he is tying the bars
Binding
correctly.
bias. Yeah.
Now, because I was innocent, because I was ready to absorb, us absorbing quickly. So there can be two options, two results in that. हाँ सब देख लिया, okay, ठीक है, done, and you go. You don't absorb that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So which means any intern who's joining it needs to absorb things the way things are
Yeah,
going.
it is a hunger eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually, it is a hunger of the profession. It is a hunger of.
Which I think which is there in every field. I think if you're not hungry, it'll never. Because I think when we also recruit people, that's one thing that's the first criteria. The moment someone leaves from the interview room and you're sitting there like, sir, hungry लगा क्या आपको? Hungry लगी क्या आपको? So इसमें hunger नहीं दिख रहा है. The CV may be apt. The CV may be
The
amazing.
best. They have the best.
But when you don't see the hunger in that person, that I think it's all about what will I gain from this company. That I think when we were growing up, that was one thing which was need, or I think that was how we were programmed. But today's generation is not programmed that way. I think today's generation is more of will find something else. Today's it's all about exploring.
I'll just add to this. In 5 years, okay. Now this is where the new generation, there's a shock which happens to all the, once again, when you come out of the college.
Cool.
So for us, there's this architect called Tada,
Of course.
okay, from Japan.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh wow, Tada, man, super minimalism, Japanese style. When you come out and you show that to any of your prospects or clients, क्या ये क्या है, क्या कर क्या रहा है,
खाली जगह पे एक सोफा रखा हुआ है,
कर क्या रहा है ये, okay, ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा मुझे. तो it's like, what? Tada was like our the architect, and this guy is like, अच्छा ऐसा है. So all the architects who were heroes in the books, they need not be the real life heroes. Yeah. That is the biggest problem. Okay. The biggest problem starts here. We feel all these architects who are undoubtedly they are very good.
Yeah.
Okay. The common man, who consumes our services.
Yeah.
Okay?
The Indian audience.
The audience.
Yeah.
Who they don't forget about Indian. No, I'm talking
the
about
audience.
Global.
Okay.
I'm talking about this global.
Okay. Okay.
They do not understand this. So today, if I'm telling you that maybe there's a very, very famous pianist called Yiruma from Japan.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you repeat or can you tell the notes of maybe there's this song called Maybe by Yiruma? What kind of things are there into that instrumental things? It becomes very difficult for very large audience, even basic audience, to tell something more. हाँ, सुनने में अच्छा लगा, बस इतने हमको पता है. वो कौन से पियानो में कर रहा है, कौन सी नोट्स बजा रहा है, उससे हमको कुछ नहीं फर्क पड़ता. अच्छा है ना? Okay. So I understood one thing very clearly, that the audience do not understand the depth of it.
Yeah.
The ones who understand, they appreciate you very well.
Okay.
But you need not, first of all, make something which very few people understand. Don't try to make something which very few people understand.
Okay.
It's okay, you make it, few people like it, that's very good. But then try to have a product which is, because you are into architecture,
It is acceptable by all. You
are going to impact a huge you can impact a very good uh, amount of people, good quantum of people at a time. Okay, so try to connect with a lot of them. Okay, that's what the whole idea is. Okay, now again coming back to architecture college में जो हीरो लोग होते थे बाहर आते थे तो भाई ये क्या कर रहे हो, ये कहाँ का डिज़ाइन है, ये कैसा आर्किटेक्चर है, हमको ये नहीं चाहिए. Once you come, you start doing commercial architecture. When I say commercial architecture, purely you do for builders, developers.
Correct.
The whole idea over there is because they are also having the business of real estate. They cannot be like, अच्छा तू मेरे लिए एक मस्त ताजमहल बना मैं बेच दूंगा, नहीं. It doesn't go like that. You have to follow the norms of what is being sold.
Agreed.
At the end. So you will be like, अच्छा FSI consume हो रहा है क्या? So the whole idea of working with from a material context कि these are the materials, हम लोग ये material use करेंगे, ये material use करेंगे. सामने से जो consumer जो है, जो developer है, भाई FSI use हो रहा है, भाई area बराबर है, भाई construction cost कम आएगा. These are his demands.
The genuine questions.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you are not ready for that. You will get ready only in the course. Okay. This is the big gap.
Okay.
Now you can start that in second year, third year. So once you come out, at least you are aware, okay, my questions will be different than what I am assuming. Nobody is going to ask me who is the one who designed exposed concrete, or nobody who is going to ask you कि सिर्फ wood में और concrete में क्या कर सकते हैं. Nobody. For luxury, everybody is using marbles. Luxury, everybody using metal like gold. If you ask, even today, I'm telling you as a challenge, if you ask 10 architects what is their favorite stone, Jaisalmer, Kota. We can do marvels in that, literally marvels. But moment we come out, and I had proposed a Jaisalmer stone in one of my clients' house, and like, are you nuts? Are you?
70 साल पहले यूज किया, अभी कहाँ यूज?
नहीं अभी है ना, ये तो यार वो पान वाले के गले पे होता है यार, तुम क्या कर रहे हो, ऐसा थोड़ी होता है, हमको इटालियन चाहिए था. Then you start changing yourself because the demand is something else. Eventually you start catering to a particular demand, but then you still have to create your own niche where you say that okay, I'll not be catering to all of them. Okay, I cannot cater to all of them. I'll select my audience, I'll select my niche, and then I'll work on that.
Yes, Gopal sir, I think most of the viewers are aware of your design philosophy, but I think the viewers like to hear directly from you. What is your design philosophy?
Design philosophy, I think it is evolved in the course of many years. Okay, maybe because somewhere down the line you always go in the direction where your subconscious, you are always attracted towards that. And today my design philosophy as such is to be something which is liked by all. I mean, if I design a image, if I design a room, or if I design a space, okay, it has to be a wow. I mean, there cannot be a reaction. I will not be able to digest a reaction less than wow.
Okay.
Okay. So I have a very strict rules or strict, screening of things which goes through my design process. After creating, 2, 3, 4 options, trying to come up with different ideas, ki what marble will look nice, what wood will look nice, and all those things. We try to see and picture how it is going to look, because eventually before the computer aided designs, there was always used to be a sketch of a 3D or a visualization of a building or a space. Okay, everything depends on that one picture. Everything, the entire project depends on that one picture.
Correct.
Okay, if that picture is wow, everybody trust that yes, this is going to be wow in real life also.
Okay.
For me, that one picture is very, very important, and I have this habit of seeing the pictures in a very different way, both as a graphic and as a design. So when I say a graphic, you see any picture, you take any picture of a flower or sunset or anything. Why you like it? Maybe because of the contrast, maybe because of the colors, maybe because of the arrangement in that picture. So even that is more important for me to understand and put it in the picture which is created by me. So if I am creating a camera angle of a building, or a picture of a bedroom, or a picture of a bathroom, or a dining or living, anything, the camera angle has to be important. The right contrast has to be important.
Can we see a couple of pictures? I think I have seen a lot. Can we see it with Varun sir? I think couple of them.
Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. So if he would have not reacted, I'll go back and see. I mean, why did he not react? Yeah? Something is missing in this. Okay.
This is crazy. Yes. The false ceiling and all
Yeah.
has a different level of detailing.
Yeah. So one more thing which goes into this is that I see he is having a habit of zooming in
Yeah.
and seeing it.
Uh,
Okay. Now, why all this came into my way of working?
yeah.
Is that because whenever I used to send the pictures initially, okay, client used to sit on a very 32-inch max screens, and they used to zoom in that. Hello, you're zooming so much. I mean, that means he has a habit to see everything in depth, and that means my design also has to be in so much of depth. So I need to cater to that. Okay, and then I started realizing whenever you take a magazine of a luxury brand, okay, you see the pictures of a watch, too much zoom into a particular part of a segment of that particular watch, too much zoom in, because you will never look at a watch so big, okay, but when you see that picture, you see the details,
Minute
you see the
details
minute
and,
details
yeah.
so well finished.
Yeah.
So that is where I realized that, okay, boss, your pictures, your
You have to
depth,
get at that level.
you have to get at that level. There's no discount on that.
I still remember I spoke a lot about that bathroom, the one which has got the marble circles on
Yeah,
top.
yeah,
Is it there in this? Sir?
No, it is in the other one. Okay. I mean, you are doing
So
something.
you're creating a brand. I think you've already created a brand of your own. That's there.
This
I
is
think.
unimaginable. I think even on the doors itself, you'll have the same thing continuing here on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Especially of this mirror detail with the marble on it.
You explained a very good way of saying what is creation versus curation. You want to speak about that?
Yeah, I don't mind. if it's creating the right impact,
Yeah.
one, especially to the audience,
Perfect.
because audience at the end,
Yeah.
they need to understand what they are getting,
Yeah.
what they should get. We as Indians, we are a country of new millionaires.
Yeah.
Okay, let us be responsible millionaires.
Cool. Eh?
Let's start with a very simple word: responsible millionaires.
Cool.
Okay, we are coming from a generation, even today, when we go for a dinner, even if one part of a portion, one part of the portion of that order is not eaten,
We take it.
we take it home.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are from that generation. Okay, now imagine, now this is very important thing, and let this be pronounced as much as possible, because this is what I wanted to convey from the bottom of my heart.
Correct.
Okay, that what is the cost of that one portion, which is part of the portion? What is the cost of that?
And it could be
Less
hardly
than
5-3%. That's
less than 500 rupees.
correct. Agreed. ठीक है.
Okay, less than 500 rupees, and you assume that you will take it out and you will give it to someone
Correct.
who's going to consume,
Correct.
which is less than 50%, because 50% chances, to be honest.
Correct.
Let's say 100%. Now for the 500 rupees, you are concerned. You know why? Because it's a culture.
Correct. है.
Okay, we are imbibed with that culture कि food waste नहीं होना चाहिए.
Correct.
ठीक है, तो कंस्ट्रक्शन में जब मटेरियल वेस्ट होता है तो दिल क्यों नहीं जलता है? You won't believe, but I will not try to put it in figures, but then the total wastage, the construction wastage of India alone is 16 times more than the global wastage. Let's say, जिसने भी बोला, मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि तूने बहुत ज़्यादा exaggerate कर दिया, 16 times नहीं हो सकता. इक्वल भी अगर होता है तो भी पूरा वर्ल्ड कहाँ और हमारा एक कंट्री कहाँ. That is a kind of wastage. The reason why it hurts me the most, because every time when the project gets finished, it is, and I do residences a lot, and trust me, it is very cumbersome for a end user. Okay, and there are many reasons for that to be cumbersome. But then one of the reasons why it is cumbersome is because you get tired by the end of the project. You're spending a lot.
Right.
Unfortunately, again, don't go into the literal percentage of that, but I have calculated almost like between 25 to 30% of the total project cost, okay, is a wastage.
Oh,
Okay.
That's a very big.
Is a wastage. Now, that same person, if we as a design architect or we as a concept designers, we always feel like, yeah, you should have bought a good chandelier, man. You should have bought a good sofa. Now that client, because he already spent so much, he's tired of spending now in the last
Agreed.
एंट्रेंस फॉयर का शैंडलियर, खुद के घर के एंट्रेंस का शैंडलियर, डेकोरेटिंग द हाउस विच विल embellish the house.
Correct.
He will start compromising on all those things. Okay, why?
Because you're wasted.
Because you never realize only you are wasting so much of money.
Right.
Okay, now how that wastage comes into the picture, it's a very different debate altogether, and there are many solutions to it. So let's say the very first problem is the wastage. One of the simplest solution to the wastage is entire house can be factory made. I'll give you a very simple example, and I'll take a name of that hotel also. Let that hotel have a different sector of people again go there and see, observe that. Ritz-Carlton Pune. Be in that room. Observe each and every part of that room. I've taken a video of the hinges of that door. Everything. I've taken a video of in-depth video. Okay. And I asked myself, was the carpenter working on site or everything came from the factory? So like, certainly he cannot work on site. It has to be a factory finish. So if a room of so much of depth, where veneer, lamination, metal, marble, leather, all luxury things are happening in the factory and coming and installed over there, why it cannot happen in your house? What happens? You straight away save the wastage component massively. Okay, that is a massive thing which you are saving. Second wastage, which we always think is a wastage of time. Unfortunately, because of many genuine reasons also, you cannot have freedom of working hours in the metro cities.
Right.
Okay, and the logistics cost of lot of items, okay, adds so much in the course of the project that you realize that, I mean, you are paying too much of unnecessary cost which are adding no value to the entire project.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe literally in lakhs, literally for a 4-bedroom hall kitchen apartment in Bombay, you will end up spending, and I have we do, so we know in and out where the costs are going.
Correct.
Can you believe for a 4-bedroom hall kitchen apartment in Bombay, if the total waste which needs to be dumped by the truck and the number of trucks which is hired for that, you end up spending anywhere around 4 to 5 lakhs. Now in that 4 to 5 lakhs, you can get the best chandelier and best sofa for your living room, where eventually you will try to compromise on yourself. The client says. So I said, okay, why?
Right.
Now that waste is happening. Out of that waste, more than 50% could have been saved.
Yeah.
But that idea is not there. The audience is not able to understand this wastage. And it is a duty of an architect or a designer and the execution agencies to convey this very well in the beginning of the project. Unfortunately, there are two kind of audience. One who understands this and makes the change. One who doesn't understand and they pay for it. But they pay for it at the end.
You have to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a plan B in that. You have to pay. Then you will not get what you want. Coming back to the initial question, which was there about the curation and design. Curation and creation. So there are two ways to look at the project now. When you say curation, okay, I as an architect, my job is to create a space where my work is more pronounced or my innovation is more part of the project. As a designer, as an architect, primarily our job is to create. Okay, curation has become a norm, or maybe again, it's a demand and supply. So there are people who demand a curation, so there is a curation. But then I'll say it is not actually the architect's or an interior designer's job. To be honest, it's because they were into it, they're doing it. Now, what is the curation? Okay, so let's say you are a businessman, you have worldwide friends, and you know what is good in terms of the furniture, lights, and
Correct.
everything, and you know few of the big things.
You have traveled.
You have traveled the world.
Correct.
So for you to buy a good sofa, it's not going to be a big decision.
Cool.
You can buy a big brand, big sofa, place it. If I also do the same thing for you, okay, what am I doing different than what you could do? You can also buy a good sofa. I can also buy a good sofa. What's the difference? I can create a space where the sofa can look more beautiful. That is my job.
Right.
My job is not to shortlist 15 brands, curate, and keep it in a space without knowing what the walls will be more in sync with that,
Right.
or rather just pasting the walls with marbles or pasting the walls with something which is exuberant or exorbitantly priced.
Priced.
Okay, because you need to tell a story, I need to tell a story to the world. Okay, see, I got this kind of thing, you know, it was expensive है, यहाँ से लिया था, वो भी expensive है, ये भी expensive है, बुरा नहीं लग रहा है, मगर आपका innovation कहाँ गया?
Correct.
Where are you into it? Okay, add value.
The third eye.
Yeah.
Innovation.
Innovation. Where's the innovation in this? I mean, you put a marble. See, putting a white Satvario marble, you can never go wrong.
Right.
On the walls, on the floor, clad entire house with marble. It can never go wrong. I'll say, never go wrong. But what is the point? Even the client could have done that. Why do you need an architect for that? But how much proportion? How much where? That is your job. You are digressing from there, from creating, you're only curating. Unfortunately, clients do not understand and they think that this curation is what actually the job of an architect. No. In today's world, when you can also search and speak to the same brands, why you want an architect to speak to the same brands? Why?
It makes sense. And
You need to speak, no, you need an architect to speak to that brand because architect can justify the space much better than what you think can justify.
Okay.
You need an architect to understand, but you don't need an architect just to keep those things. I think that eventually the goal should be to make a beautiful place, not a branded beautiful place. So I believe in my design, or as a person who is creating a space, I would love to myself be pronounced the most.
Correct.
Why will I say, why I will let the client say that okay, this is from this particular brand, this is from GZ. That's what he's supposed to tell. I have done those mistakes, to be honest. And at the end of the project, what happens is that you are lost. It's not you in the project, it is those brands which are there in the project. That is also one of the things where you need to understand the right balance. If you are creating a bigger value, after putting that, certainly you will be above that. But you cannot put them in the front and then do it, because then you are not doing anything. You need to do something, no?
Cool.
You need to do something. You cannot just put things and just, I mean, what's the point? What is the experience? When I say I have 20 years of experience, so if I'm not sharing my experience of the first month of my professional career and utilizing it or sharing it even today whenever it is required, there's no point of that experience. Why? Okay, so just to tell you, you know, all these 3Ds or whatever you see, 3Ds are made and I take those things very seriously. So as I told you, you know, the picture and the graphic. So every graphic, or when I say, the reason I'm terming the word graphic, because for me it might be a bedroom design or any other design. Okay, it'll go on a Mac screen, it will go on a Windows screen, it will go on the
Android.
other laptop, Android screen. पोर्ट्रेट में कैसा लग रहा है, लैंडस्केप में कैसा लग रहा है, घुमा के देखो कैसा लग रहा है, ब्राइटनेस कम लग रही है, ज़्यादा लग रही है, क्या है. After that, when all those people who say, oh wow, the first reaction, wow, that is when that image goes to the client. Till that, it doesn't go to the client also. You understand? And I try to see, so all the technical aspects, whether it is like switchboard or distance of the curtains from the wall, and how much the curtains are cornered at the end. Is there a distance between the curtains and the side table at the corners? All those are defined in the drawing, then the 3D, then the render.
So everything is interlinked. It's not
Everything is interlinked. So tomorrow you cannot say that कि अरे गोपाल भाई वहाँ पे कर्टन जो है ना हम लोगों ने ज़्यादा जगह नहीं छोड़ा है. No agencies. So that is again an experience. 12 years back, 10 years back, when I did a house, that time, the use of sheer curtains and the main curtains, and both the curtains having the motors was little new, okay, 10 years back. So very conventionally, that curtain company said that, okay, I'm sure you must have left not enough space for both the shears and mains. I asked him, how much space do you need? He said, I want minimum 200 to 250 mm. I said, I have 300. They're like, what? How? I know how much is required. I have also played a little error or little margin of error because the windows are more wider compared to a conventional one. Conventional windows, maybe for a bedroom, it might be 11 feet, 12 feet. Right. Here it is 14 feet. So once it is going to open up, it might take a little more space. Okay, so I am aware what is required. So he's like, hey, thank you. So I need not mess with you now. Okay, so the same thing goes with all the other agencies. The thing is, this is what my experience should be transferred or pronounced in my projects. It is not only aesthetics. Aesthetics is merely 3 seconds. Aesthetics works, unfortunately, it works only for 3 seconds. It is very intuitive. Good, bad, ugly, just decide like that. What is next? Comfort. What is next? Usability. What is after that? Functionality. It should be intuitively useful every time you open and close, every time you sit on that. That is when the designs will be realized. Unfortunately, this curation thing doesn't solve that purpose. Because you are curating, you are not into it.
This is why I asked him. This is going to hurt a lot of people. Are you okay speaking about curation versus creation?
Again, you are curating it, right? So you are in that zone of, okay, I selected, I finished, that's my job. No. One of the biggest hoax of our industry, let's say if a person is going to take birth in next 1st of July, somebody is going to be born, and I am declaring that person before he is born that he is the businessman of the year. Of which year I don't know. But he is the businessman of the year. I don't even know he is a boy or a girl. Let's say he is born on 1st July. I know he is a boy. He is a businessman of the year. That is what is happening with the so-called projects. Even the projects are understood, realized, and they are performing what they are supposed to perform as a green building or as a sustainable building. They are defined as a sustainable or a building which is going to perform like that even before the building starts performing. The building may perform all those functions will be measured only when the building is occupied and it starts functioning in that way. The rainwater harvesting tank and the rainwater will be utilized only when the people will start using the rainwater. That is when you can say that is a green building. When you have a LED lights, if the LED lights are not used, if the the motion sensor lights are not used in the common areas, all these things, how will even before that the building is justified, it's judged or it is certified as a green building? How? So where are we even trying to connect this with?
Interesting. So I will have loud music in my ears, and you just have to say those words. You have to say it.
Okay.
I'll read your lips.
Okay.
And make out what are you saying. Facade.
Oh, I can speak loudly,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because
obviously.
he's
You can't-
anyways
you
not
can't
going to
hear.
hear it, right? Okay. Maximalist. Maximalist.
Mathematician.
Oh.
What?
Maximalist. Maximalist. Can I explain you with some actions
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something?
100% you can do everything.
Repeat one more time, sir.
Maximalist. Maximalist.
It's a long word.
Yes.
Okay.
Maximalist.
नहीं आ रहा.
No.
Next word, sir. Sorry.
Next word? Okay. Again, this is a long word. Traditional.
Decision.
No. Traditional.
Regional.
Yeah,
Similar.
It sounds like regional.
Yeah. Traditional. I mean,
I think you
एक
have
और
to-
बार बोलिए word. Just have to lip it out.
traditional. How will you say tre?
It sounds like regional. I don't know.
Yeah. Something very, very
Still
close
at
to it.
regional. I got one right. ठीक है, next word, sir.
Okay. Rustic.
I think slow bowling.
आप इतना effortlessly बोल रहे हैं ना कि मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है क्या बोल रहे हैं.
Okay. Rustic.
Decision.
What decision? Wrong decision. Okay. Rustic. No? Is there any other way I can explain it? Vintage.
Ventilation.
Vintage.
Again?
Vintage. Small
Be
word.
a bit
Small
slow. I
word.
think you'll be
word.
able to.
Vintage.
French windows.
One word.
One word.
One word.
French. Windows. सर ऐसा तो मैं पूरा बुक बोल देगा.
चलेगा और two words बोलो.
I don't know, just say it again.
Vintage.
You say it, sir.
Vintage.
Ventilation.
Vintage.
I don't know.
Okay. So last word. Okay.
Last word.
Yeah. How come you hear that? Anyways, okay. Moroccan.
ये समझ में आ रहा है.
Moroccan. Very difficult, yeah. Very difficult.
Moroccan is difficult. It's not.
Yeah.
It
Moroccan.
sounds like my friend Purohit. I don't know why.
Purohit.
Purohit का separate.
लग रहा आप पुरोहित बोल रहे हो.
Moroccan. Oh my God.
Again.
Moroccan.
पुरोहित सी.
More. Not poo. More.
Mood board.
Moroccan.
Difficult.
Done.
Done.
Modular.
Oh shit.
See, it is difficult.
Understood only, man. Oh shit.
Modular.
Polishing.
Modular. Modular.
Oh my God. I can't get it, man.
Yeah? Modular. Okay, second word.
Second.
Glam.
Clamp.
Close. Glam.
Stamp.
Glam.
Clamp. Lamp.
Glam.
Lamp.
Glam. I don't know, I'll say glamorous. I'll screw it up. I don't want to say glamorous. Victorian.
Oh shit.
It's a difficult name.
Victorian. Verb. Okay. Fourth word. Zen.
Chair.
Zen.
Seat.
Zen. गाड़ी आती है.
Sitting.
Zen.
Letter बोल के zen नहीं, I think.
I don't know. Zen.
Car. Steering.
Zen.
Piece. Steering.
Zen.
Stairs.
Zen.
Meditation.
Zen.
Zen.
हाँ, cool. Okay. Retro.
Tic-tac-toe.
Retro. रो सही है. Retro.
No man.
No man.
None.
Last word.
Done?
Last word. Revival. Revive.
Level.
Revive. 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 Cool. Okay. No, I think this is difficult. I'm not saying that it's not difficult.
Okay.
Cool. We'll move to the last segment now, which is the rapid fire round. This is my favorite round. Been doing this, and this is where the entire thing is designed. This is not a rapid fire round. You can take time and answer also. If your design style were an ice cream flavor, which flavor would it be?
Something of a rare berries which people don't have it very often,
Okay.
with a combination of few more flavors, but not one single flavor.
Okay. There will be multiple.
exotic.
flavors. Exotic and multiple flavors.
At least 2 to 3 flavors.
Okay. Cool. If your design studio had a theme song, which song would it be?
Yanis, Yuruma, the river flows in you.
Okay.
That is what I really connect with that.
Okay.
Second, Jeho.
Cool. All right. Perfect. One design trend that you wish should make a comeback.
I think they are all circling.
I know
every time.
terrazos are back and everything, but one design trend that was there.
There was a very nice trend that time. If you see, even in the movies, Indian movies also, it was very well pronounced in all the sets and everywhere. You can use the word retro for that.
If your designs could talk, what would they say about you? If your designs would talk about you.
Classy,
Hmm.
expensive,
Okay.
not for all, aspirational.
Good. If your designs were a season, which one would they be and why?
Why stick to one? Yeah?
No, we want one.
You want one?
We want one.
Okay, then spring.
Okay. And why?
I think it's the most comfortable weather conditions.
Cool. All right. Now this is interesting. If your job title were a superhero name, which superhero would it be?
Iron Man.
Cool. All right. If your designs were a travel destination, where would you take us?
In Canada, there's this mountaineer train. I don't remember the exact name, but then the mountain range which through it passes by, okay, that is where I can connect myself.
All right. If your designs were a board game,
For a board game,
yeah, which one would they be?
any of the simple card games.
Card games.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is different. This is the first time it is happening. It is different.
Either it's Ludo.
You have Ludo or chess.
Okay, so any of the card games.
Yeah. If your designs were a quote or a saying, what would they convey?
Excellence forever.
Describe, this is the last one, describe your ideal workspace in 3 words.
Ideal work.
Workspace in 3 words. Or it could be, what are the 3 things that you require to work? Those things are required by you.
Certainly paper, pencil.
I want to add something here. I don't know if this could work, but if you want to give a piece of advice to your fellow designers or the architects, what advice would you give?
Create more, curate less.
Okay, cool. That's the end of it then. Thank you so much. I think
Thank you.
we are good to go. Thank you for
Thanks a lot,
pairing
sir.
with us.
Thank you.